Wellity, wellity, wellity. If it isn't another fucking sketchbook. You fucking idiots. Specifically the people watching this. Oh, I kid. This is, I think, from around 5 or so years ago. It's a book of sketches made for that explicit purpose and then thusly done so. Let's open her or him up. Of course, sketchbooks don't have a gender, much like disabled people. Their gender doesn't matter, they're just fucking disabled. Get them out of here. Worthless lumps, the lot of them. Ooh, Ren Hoek. Now, straight away, this represents something that happens in a lot of sketchbooks I do. I don't know about everyone else, but I know for me personally, where I start off being like, cool, a new sketchbook, I'll have nice, neat, tidy, cool drawings, yeah. And then they just get worse and worse progressively as you go on through the sketchbook. So there's Ren from Ren and Stimpy, and I assume Stimpy from Ren and Stimpy, and some more Wrens. And again, trying to be like nice sketches in my sketchbook. And we'll see how long that lasts. I've not looked in this for quite some time, so this is all not new to me, but quite surprising, some of it. We'll see. Goblins. Obviously, I'm known for drawing many goblins. So there's some, I was obviously trying to like have this kind of style, like a cartoon goblin character I could work on. But again, this is one of those things where it's like you try to craft a style out of something which is not your natural style and therefore isn't what you normally do, so it doesn't look like what you normally do, and it's very hard to stay doing something like that if it's not what you normally do. Some of these are quite cool, some of the expressions are quite funny. Something I could work with, I guess. I could make it work for my current style. Whatever. Again, it's already devolving into just garbage. That's Earthworm Jim, that's kind of neat. More goblins. More goblins. Goblins. And again, straight away, it's already getting rougher and sketchier. Why always naked? Why? Yeah, Ewan. Why always naked with the little goblin penises? Brain Hulk thing? I don't know. Again, I think I was trying to be like a cartoonist Ewan and work on expressions and shit. Hulk, we do love a good Hulk. You can see I was aware that anatomy was a thing, but I didn't necessarily know much about it. I knew there are some kind of shapes that go here and here, but then I just sort of made it up for the rest of it and added in lumps and bumps where I felt like it. Smash indeed. Look at that tush. Tight little Hulk bum. Nice. And you can see themes that carried on from here into my current work, such as this and this and this, really. Goblins. Santa Claus, I think that is. Obviously it is. This is a drawing I printed and scanned and printed some off. Yes, a drawing by my good artist friend Callie. You may know her on Instagram, Callie Joe. We had a vague idea of like a collaboration, and the vague idea we had was she had this drawing that is quite a blank canvas of a drawing, and then I add to it and make it funny. Some skateboarding goblins, that's quite funny, quite cool. I like that. That's quite a cool drawing, actually. I remember liking that one specifically. A bunch of garbage. So yeah, a couple of ideas of like shit I could add on to her drawing. I don't know. Spaceman with a thing coming out of him, but it's like a funny, happy alien. Goblin skull. monsters and is from the Max. Weird dungeon monsters. I think about this time I was doing those big dungeon drawings, so these were quite prevalent in my work. Oh yeah, well, there you go. Big dungeon. Oh, that's right, yeah, because I had a few big dungeon drawings done, and then I wanted to work on like some single pieces, so like single dungeon rooms. So there's like a dead guy, and this big monster man is obviously killed him. His head's caved in. That's kind of neat. Pew Maker. His gun's called the Pew Maker. That's, and I'm called a poo maker because everything I make is shit. Oh, another one. That's cool. Big worm creature coming out of a hole. The door is blocked by said worm creature. The guy's got a fork and he's scared of the... I think that's going to be a large part of this sketchbook, is drawings like this that I tried to take to like another level, but I really didn't have inking down, especially in terms of line weight, to define different parts of a drawing, so everything kind of just blends in because it's just a bunch of lines. There's no differentiation between outlines and shadow lines and all kinds of whatever. So good in concept, but not as well carried out as I could maybe do now. So I, could go back and revisit some of them. That's a good one. I remember liking this one as well. Again, something I could do better now, but it was good for the time. Quite neat. Jade. Some shit. I think this was obviously just like a guy tattooing a girl, but again, very rough. The lines don't really read very well. Quite messy. Oh, look at a funny little thing. These, I think it's on the next page, a painting based on an Ashley Wood piece. These are basically just copies of Ashley Wood robots I was referencing and being inspired by, or whatever. Cheech Wizard there, that's quite cool. And then this, obviously, forget the elephant in the room, is a copy of a Frazetta piece, a Conan the Barbarian painting by Frank Frazetta, with goblins instead of like people, which I thought was quite cool. Again, not perfect. Quite early on in my painting days, so I was still learning and things, playing with different coloured lighting effects and such. Quite a good piece overall, though. I was quite happy with that. I think that made it into my paintings book. And yeah, that's the one I was going to mention about being on the next page. Is just a straight copy of an Ashley Wood painting, but slightly more in my style of painting. Robot versus zombie. Cool. Legs in tights. I think there's going to be quite a few of those in this book. I remember painting a lot of those at the time. Nice nylon coated legs. Delicious heels. Very, very nice indeed. Mediocre at best. It's a little self-portrait there. See, because, a bunch of monsters. Little monster sketches. I used to use pencils back then. Wow. Long, long time ago. Vikings with guns. This probably would have been about... I think this was just before I actually came up with Gun Viking, as we all know and love him currently. That's quite a cool little drawing. I like that. Big man. Oh, he's got a face there and a face there. That's quite cool. Sort of thing I could redraw now and it would look quite good. Goblins and shit, that's quite cool. Goblins. And this is like just like a zombie Viking with guns. A Viking with blue skin that had guns was one of my ideas for like a character to use in something, and that would later help form what Gun Viking currently is now. Lobo from the comic Lobo. Some more Cheech Wizard sketches. Fat guy on a pig. Kind of cool. I don't know. Where the fuck that is. Skull Man. See, he's a skull man with skulls for eyes. I think I coloured this digitally. I was doing that every now and again, like adding basic digital colour into things just to see how it looked. I think this was one of those. So it was quite bare, obviously, but then the colour and such was added in latter. Some sketches. These are kind of cool. Whatevs. Give a shit. Ooh. An old Zach Ridley. That's, I think, a rough for a Zach Ridley piece. Was that sci-fi graphic novel I did the artwork for back in... Oh, God, this was even before then. So this is old. This might be 2013, 2014. Wow. 6 or 7 years ago. Gosh. A gal. And that was my old website. The very first page of it, like the home page title, was Eat the Flesh of the Living, because I drew quite a few zombies at the time. And it's just a cool, like, I think it was literally, as I was coming up with the page, I was like, oh, a name for the page, Eat the Flesh of the Living. Little did I know that eventually that would then be the very first Google result. If you Googled Eat the Flesh of the Living, my website was the very first result, which was kind of neat. I don't believe that's the case now, which is a shame, but it was pretty cool at the time. So I was trying to like use that and incorporate it in art and do things with it, such as this, Eat the Flesh of the Living, like a zombie with, this was supposed to be like made of his head, like his eye there. One of my favourite ever paintings I've done. I didn't realise it was actually so small, the original, just in a sketchbook. Some lovely, again, legs in tights, heels and a little ankle bracelet, very, very sexy stuff, very much like that. Similar. I believe these were, oh, excuse me, I've got hiccups. Self-portraits. This was based on the time I got an eye infection and my eye swelled up to the point of almost swelling out of the socket, and that's sort of like how I felt at the time, that's quite a cool drawing actually. And this is a time around a similar time where I was in hospital with breathing problems, chest problems. So that was based on that, which again would be quite a cool thing to revisit, like times I've been very, very ill or whatever. Little self-portraits, kind of cool. I like the idea. Some good line work and stuff in there. Quite cool pieces. Maybe. I think that's a goblin sat under a tree. Spider-Man, Mysterio, self-explanatory. Early days of painting again, trying something out. The sort of thing, again, I could take and do better now, but for the time, that was good. Getting the lighting effects and such. See underlighting from the city below and the pumpkin head Mysterio. Ooh, that's kind of ugly. I think it was supposed to be Tank Girl, but like slightly my take on Tank Girl, but not quite. Just, yeah, kind of okay, but not really. Not great. Not great. Yeah, I'm doing much better now since then. Again, trying to... Ooh, more legs in tights. I think I was trying to do like really quick basic paintings with a bit of ink. Oh, I know what happened was I did that, and that was kind of an accident as in terms of how well it came out, how happy I was with it. So I thought, oh, I'll do more. So I tried doing more and they came out just shit, which happens a lot. I'm sure you can all relate. You do one good piece, you try and do more, and they all come out shit. This was one of the chapter divider cover pieces of artwork for the Zach Ridley comic, which was used and published, which is quite cool. Again, tiny little piece that eventually became something bigger. That was like a Batman smiling, Joker frowning, see the opposite sort of thing. Jesse James from the movie The Assassination of Jesse James by the Coward Robert Ford. One of my favourite films, that. Unused artwork for Zach Ridley. A chav. A bunch of shit. Sketches. Again, I don't know if we can see how long it took to go from that to that. I'd say... maybe here/here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 pages, I'd say, before I started getting just messy when I tried to keep it neat and tidy, and it just clearly wasn't working. Yes, again, that was used in the book, Zach Ridley, that's Dan, the character. That was a chapter divider cover artwork again. Little man in a box. Tank Girl. Some shit. Squid in a jar. Eat the Flesh of the Living. Eat the Flesh of the Living, again, trying to do something with that name. Oh, that's kind of cool. I like that. Little goblin with a gun. Nice. I believe, again, these were digitally coloured and used as like pieces of artwork on my website at the time. But they weren't great. This was heavily influenced by that film with the kid. Paranorman. That's the one. Very good film. Oh, but shit. That was kind of neat. Little dungeon room painting. See, they've cut this ogre's legs off and he's just sat there like, oh, the fuck. And he's like, doodly-doo, checking out the book. Again, I could do it better if yeah, whatever. It's old shit. Some cool goblin faces. Meh. I think this is just one-line scribbles, just whatever. Skateboarders. Girls in tights with skateboards. Again, trying to cross themes here. It's kind of cool. Bit of a weird experiment thing. A squid in water with guns. That's kind of neat. I like that. And this, I think, was from an idea I had for like a comic or something, or just a series of pieces of like a sexy Amazonian warrior girl teaming up with a little goblin going around a dungeon. So here they're in like a sewer water system in a dungeon, and he's guiding her around. And she's like, yeah, cool, whatever, with a knife. I thought there was more of those. This was cool. That made it into my paintings book as well. I cut off here because they're shit, so I didn't include them. That is an axe. I don't know if it shows up on the screen, but that's an axe. I didn't paint it, obviously. I did that quite a lot. Underpainting, and then fuck it, can't be asked. Fuck that shit. Monster heads. Oh, there you go. Yeah, more Amazonian lady and goblin in a dungeon. That would be fun to. Oh, that's the like Google Doodle thing, but it's zombie heads. So like a capital G, an O, G, L, and an E. It's kind of cool. I like that. Again, I could do it better now if I tried a very old Gun Viking before he was actually called Gun Viking drawing. Some rough ones there you can see. A dungeon layout, I guess. This is probably for one of my dungeon drawings. Some goblin heads. Goblin heads. Ass. I think that was just from a picture on Instagram. Again, very old Gun Viking, like the Viking and then the Viking action, like a movie poster sort of thing. Again, if I took it now, I could do something with it. That's kind of a neat little painting, just a weird sci-fi Martian thing. Viking with a gun. Yeah, check it out. Viking with a gun. I was just practicing inking, I think. That's what that was. Monster head doodles on post-it notes. Monster head doodles on post-it notes. That's sort of all you need for that. Yeah, nothing particularly great on these pages, but sort of whatever, we get what you were doing. More, I guess I was into this robot design at the time. Skull head in robot body thing. That's actual blood. My actual blood, I'd paint with that occasionally. That was a logo for a thing. That was an idea for a t-shirt with a big goblin face on it. That's a dungeon room. Again, as I said before, the lines are sort of too similar all over, so it all blends a little bit, which is a shame. I like these. One of my favourite things I've mentioned before somewhere is drawings of drawings. So like you have a wall, like a drawing of a wall with drawings on the wall. So all these drawings, I like them a lot. I love when you see that in art, in illustration, movies, whatever, if it's animated, having drawings of drawings is like a thing I love. It's fucking good. Star Wars. So yeah, funny little doodles and shit, a beholder drawing there, references to things. I think that was literally a painting I'd made at the time, the squares and circles thing. Yeah, something, isn't it? Yeah, that's kind of kind of cool. The concept's cool, but it's not carried out very well. It's supposed to be like a lady with an afro, and this is her from behind, and then her head's here, but it looks like that's just her head on a backwards body. So yeah, gold shit there, teddy bear. Yeah, again, that would happen quite a lot. I'd have a good idea, but wouldn't really carry it out brilliantly. Yeah, if I tried now, I could do it a lot better. Some stuff. Ah, that's kind of cool. The old skull head in the robot body thing, painting. Bit messy, but you can see where I was going with it. Some song lyrics. Some drawings, doodles. I do these shapes, which are literally just intersecting lines without taking the pen off the paper, and then you colour in every other thing to make this pattern. I used to do that loads, just to fill in space. My dungeon drawings has a lot of that, actually, literally to fill up space on walls and things. Stuff. I think this is planned for a bigger painting I wanted to do, of like a big two-headed giant, a guy running away from him, smashing columns and things. Wow. Oh, okay. If you are aware of a card game I made or was making, how are we doing for time? Oh, fine, good. This was artwork that was going to be on the cards. A slug beast and like a nuke-proof suit, which was obviously just a copy of the suit from Back to the Future, the Marty McFly radiation suit, but with a gun. So I did those. I made a couple of mock-up cards, but then straight away I was like, the artwork is too dissimilar. There's not. I want a theme in the artwork, but these are two just random images. So yeah, I wasn't happy with those. They're kind of all right as paintings as they are, but it didn't work for what I wanted to do. So a bunch of skulls. I think I had an idea for like a robot who wore the skin of a person to try and appear human. So he's got like a human head and arms wrapped around him. I don't know. I don't know. I literally don't know. That guy, some guy. And this I made as like a t-shirt design that never got printed or anything. Like a pregnant woman, but instead of a baby, she's got a squid in her. That's skulls, one line, skulls. A series of drawings of superheroes smoking because it looks cool. Again, they're all right drawings for the time, but I could do them a lot better now. Goblins and shit. That was cool. I made a painting of that later on. I quite liked it. Skull man with skull eyes that we saw earlier with some axes, but whatever, a bit of a self-portrait. A very young self-portrait, obviously. How old would I have been? 6 or 7 years ago. I'd have been like 20, early 20s. Ugh. Wow. Early to mid 20s, 24 maybe. Yeah, 24, 25. Bunch of shit. Literally just a bunch of garbage. That's kind of cool. I stuck it in there. The rest is just sort of just random shitty drawings. Ooh, demon ladies. Pretty okay. Playing with lighting and inking. That's really cool. I like that actually. Zombie bat. I remember posting that on Instagram, and it got quite a lot of likes for the time, so that was quite cool. Freckled face and tits. Bunny on a gun. Dead bunny on a gun. The skulls. I don't know if that was relevant to anything. Probably not. Just a bunch of shit. Viking, lady, bear, monster thing. A barracuda, it looks like. Some old guy. Literally just a random bunch of shit. Goblin cartoons. Judge Dredd. Not bad. Not great, but not bad. Doing something. Some information you shouldn't know. Another self-portrait. That's kind of cool. Quite like that one. I wanted to do a series based on Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots, the song/album by the Flaming Lips, where you have like a Japanese girl who fights pink robots to save the society. But I wanted it to be like quite modern, so I don't know why I was obsessed with putting everyone in jean shorts and a t-shirt at the time. But yeah, so she's like got guns and she's blasting pink robots. And what do we say? Which we've always said throughout this entire book. If I was to do it today, it would look really good. New pens, yay! And I drew. Obviously got a new green ballpoint pen. So the first thing you draw with a green ballpoint pen is the Hulk, obviously. Hence, I think it's supposed to be Hellboy, I guess. I don't know. Ooh. Hulk, like a tribal leader Hulk thing. I think I wanted to put him on like a throne or something, the way his arms and legs are. Skulls and shit, teeth hanging around his neck. Oh, and it's just been Easter, so that's quite cool. A little Easter bunny with a gun, crazy look in his eyes. I believe I actually digitally coloured that and it looked okay, but like, meh. Again, my inking needed a lot of work. More of that. That's quite cool. That would make quite a nice painting if I was to do that. I think that's what I do mostly. Obviously, it goes without saying, that's what I do mostly. When I look through old sketchbooks, is all I do is think, I could do that better now. I could do that better now. I could do that better now. But maybe it's best to look at it and just go, that was important drawings for the time. I learned a lot. I took a lot away from it. That's quite cool, like as just a single piece. Now that. There's two specific pieces I know that I eventually combined to make Gun Viking. This is one of them. So I had the blue Viking who used guns as one character idea, and I wanted to pair him as two separate people with this like Viking superhero character that I'd made. So there'd be two Vikings that fought side by side or whatever. But obviously what I did was combine them, thus then creating what then became the Gun Viking. Which is kind of cool. Bib Fortuna from Star Wars. So that's quite a classic one. I might have to rip that one out and maybe sell it or something. Spider Hulk. The best part about being an illustrator is the ability to bring life to a blank page. Ta-da! Stinky butt. Seekers. I guess that's it. Bunch of single line doodles, just one line drawings. And that's the end. I hope you liked it. A 6 or 7 year old sketchbook. What are your 6 or 7 year old sketches like? Do you look back and think they're shit? Do you look back and go, shit, that was a good idea. I wish I still did that sort of stuff. Or do you throw out everything more than a year old because it's all garbage? Let me know in the comments. And I hope you have...